Polynomial inequalities. Divers in Acapulco, Mexico dive head first at 8 feet per second from the top of a cliff 87 feet above Pacific Ocean. During what time period will a diver's height exceed that of the cliff? Use the positive function s of t is equal with a minus 16 t squared plus v0 t plus s0. So let's put those numerical values in this equation. So we have s of t is equal minus 16t squared. And now instead of the initial velocity, let's plug in the numerical value what we have here, 8 feet per second. So 8t. And now we have what we have here, we have the height 87 feet instead of s0 plus height is 87. And now we want to find in what interval time is going to be the height of the diver above the cliff, above 87 feet. So let's plug here 87 feet. We want to know when is this higher. So that's why we are creating this inequality. This height has to be higher in what period of time, because t here represents the time. And we have a minus 16t squared plus 8t, 8t plus 87. Because we have both sides 87, so we can simplify 87 from this inequality in the both sides. So let me go here with minus 87 both sides. And same thing we are going on this side here, 87. So those we cancel. And what it remains as 0 is less than a minus 16t squared plus 8t plus 8t. And now this inequality we are solving for t. But first of all, let's try to find just a point as in the form of the equation. So 0 is going to be equal. Going to be equal. Okay. Let me erase this here. Is going to be equal with a minus 16t squared. But here, for example, let me factorize as a GCF of minus 8t, and here is a 2t. Okay, and is a minus 1. And now let's solve with this for t. When we solve it for t, t is going to be equal to 0. And here t is going to be 1.5. So those two values. So it means that the interval is 0 is 1 point, and the other is 1.5, let's say, is here. Because here is 2, here is 1, 1.5, 2. So here is a 0.5. And here is 0. So in this interval. So if we are looking for the graph here that we created with the Desmos, the height that is going to exceed 87, here is 87 feet, is going to be, you see, 0.5, 87. In this height is going to be higher than the height of the cliff, 87. It means the interval in terms of the time is going to be from 0 to 0.5 here. And the other is not going to satisfy this inequality, or this inequality here. And we can check it. This one is not a big problem to check it, but whatever you take in, we already see here is 0.25. If we are taking 0.25, t squared is going to be less number than this one. Then this is a positive. The value is going to be positive, so it's going to hold this. So if you are testing, it's going to hold, and the solution is here. But again, if you are taking, for example, an interval from 0.5 to infinity, and you plug in, for example, 1 here, is going to be minus 16, and plus 8 is going to be minus 8, and minus 8 cannot be greater than 0, so this is false. So here is not the solution. Solution is just 0 to 0.5. Even if you take a minus 1, for example, if you take an interval from minus infinity to 0, and if we are taking a minus 1, and if we are testing this inequality, is not going to hold, because minus 1 square is 1, here is minus 16, 8 times minus 1 minus 8, so this number is going to be negative, and negative cannot be greater than 0, so it's not going to hold. So the only interval in which the elements of x, element of t, of time, is going to satisfy this inequality is going to be between 0 and 0.5. And as we see here, obviously, the height you will see graphically here, this is the height, then is going to be higher than 87 feet.